on, Cole?
How's it going? Thanks for having me on, fellas.
I'm good, bro. Of course, Cole is from Nothing But Airtime, another off the ball network guy, gang. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, Cole? What's up?
Hey, I'm excited. Basketball's getting back. I'm excited.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Yeah, man, it's October. You got so much stuff going on. Obviously, we talked about football. We got obviously basketball coming up next week. Season premiere. All baseball postseason, the beginning of the NHL season kicks off. Well, it's a kickoff or face off. Touche. But tomato,
Couldn't tell you.
tomato, right? But yeah, so we definitely appreciate you for coming on, Cole, tonight. So we're gonna be talking about the NBA Western Conference. So I'm just gonna go around the horn, fellas. Your storylines to watch in the Western Conference. I'm gonna go with you first, Cole. What are your storylines to watch in the Western Conference?
I got two right off the bat, two of the bigger ones. I want to know if the Suns' success was fluky. Every
Yeah.
time any team gets to the finals, there's some luck involved. You saw the Warriors get luck with Kawhi Leonard being hurt. Rockets had the Chris Paul injury. Then the Lakers were hurt this year in the first round against the Suns. So obviously there was some luck on the Suns side of things. Still successful regular season team. Who knows if LeBron and AD are fully healthy, they go on the run they do. But I want to see if they can replicate that success, be that top four team that everyone expects with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton. So that's my first storyline. And the second storyline is what is this Lakers team going to look like? What are the closing lineups going to look like? Is Russell Westbrook going to be in that fourth quarter tight situation with LeBron and AD? So those are two of mine. Two, obviously, of the highlight teams, one that won the Western Conference and then the one with LeBron James. So I think those are two of the biggest off the bat.
Yeah. Maui, your storylines, what you got?
Basically, man, I would say the same thing, but I'm very, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm really intrigued about the Suns to see if they're a fluke. I want to see if Denver can keep it up. It's so many teams, man. Let's just be honest. Like, I want to see. The weirdest feeling in storyline. Let me stay there. I'm watching the Portland Trailblazers. Like, they've seen like consistent just to make it to a point, and it's always injuries or something ever since they made it to the Western Conference that year. And they haven't really, hadn't really been there. So I want to see if with this new coach, are they going to be able to stay consistent or move forward or go or still move backwards? And then I want to see if are they going to break the team up? Are they going to eventually, split the team up? Because I think they've been consistent. I think they really topped off a long time ago. So I really don't see them going any further. But so I really want to see if they're going to break up Lillard or McCollum up. Then I'm also I want to see what the Mavs are going to do with Jason Kidd being a coach. Are they going to? You think are they still going to be a playoff team? I mean, I know Luka is Luka. But are they still going to be a playoff team with this new, with Jason Kidd? So those are my two.
I'm interested with Portland too. Are they going to stay stagnant? CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard, both seen their name in trade rumors. Ben Simmons is a guy that's seen his name in trade rumors. Right now, if I was Portland, I'd be trying to package that CJ Simmons, that trade, just to get something different in there. Portland's been terribly like mid all of my years watching the NBA. They're always at 4 to 5 seed, getting out in the first or second round. So making a move to possibly take that next step, getting younger, getting the guy that can take the playmaking load off of Damian Lillard with the Ben Simmons in there would be pretty interesting.
I'm sorry, Chris. Actually, Utah too. We forget that Utah was number one in the division last season. You know what I mean? So are they gonna stay consistent? They was dangerous. It was all injuries. You know what I mean? If you didn't pay attention, everybody got hurt in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely feels like a make or break year for Utah, I think.
I think it's a lot of teams.
A lot of it similar. I call this Lakers version team the salt and pepper Lakers. Can they stay healthy? I think that was my biggest question mark. And also to your point about Jason Kidd situation, because we all know like how the situation was in Milwaukee, where we looked at, and it's funny how getting rid of him essentially propelled them to their success at this point, because at that point, remember, they were like kind of a version 7-8 seed that kind of lacked like the modern day offense. I know a lot of people had an issue of how how Jason Kidd handled this team offensively. And then talk about Portland, but I think a different storyline is there. I think we might be on the verge of a daytime Emmy award winning soap opera with Dame versus Chauncey Billups. I wonder how that coexists. I know I wouldn't say there's been some little rifts, but this might be it's there's some rifts, but I'm interested in how this story how this soap opera will play out during this season.
Absolutely. I think another good soap opera that we could see is Los Angeles. You don't have Kawhi there. You just have Paul George, and you have Eric Bledsoe in the door. Are they going to make a move to potentially get that second star? Is Kawhi going to come back this season? So I think another good storyline outside of the Lakers in Los Angeles would be Paul George in Los Angeles. Last time he was the focal point of an offense, he was that third vote for the MVP. So are we going to see that version of Paul George again? So a lot of big storylines in the Western Conference, a lot of fun ones, and we haven't even talked about the Warriors yet. Klay Thompson gets back,
right?
Steph Curry, Draymond, are they going to make a move? They got a lot of young talent and some cap space, so a lot of fun going out there. So
yeah, that'd be really intriguing because they got a nice mix of veterans coming, also with Klay, Steph, and Draymond, and then they got pretty much some really good stacked youth guys. Like you look at because they got Kuminga, what's space, James Wiseman, and then and they got Mobley too, right? The other one,
Moody,
Moody.
Yeah.
Oh, Kendrick Perkins.
Stupid. Another team I really like Memphis, man. I really liked Memphis last year, and I'm hoping that the GM and the organization build upon that. They really did well, man. Young team, played hard defense. They made me really excited to watch the playoffs. You know what I mean? And I hadn't seen anything like that in a long time. They gave Utah a run, man. They really did.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson back healthy. You got him and Ja running together. They got rid of Valanciunas, so they're putting all marbles in on Jackson at that big man. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. So, fellas, what are the rookies to watch? Who you got, Cole?
You mentioned him. I like Moses Moody. Off the bench at Golden State. He's going to get a lot of opportunity. Him and Jordan Poole are going to be those spark plugs off the bench playing off of Draymond and Steph. He's a guy I'm interested to see. Kuminga, another one in Golden State. Obviously, Jalen Green we can't talk about Western Conference rookies without bringing up him, second pick. Kind of brought that heat on him with the whole Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green Summer League rivalry. We're going to see him kind of flourish in the limelight now. But the guy I'm most interested to watch is Davion Mitchell in Sacramento. He was pretty good at Baylor. He's a hard-nosed defender. There's a lot of guards in that room. I think if a Buddy Hield trade shakes out or a Harrison Barnes trade shakes out, he's going to see a lot of opportunity early and often, and I think he's going to flourish. I think Davion Mitchell's the guy that could be an all-rookie first-teamer that was kind of at that later half of the top 10 picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Mal, were your rookies to watch?
No, I'm good. Y'all got it.
Okay. Obviously Jalen Green, that's the elephant in the room. I think he's just, as far as from a Western Conference perspective, a guy who, you talked about Davion Mitchell, and like you said, I think just him going to Sacramento is like the NBA graveyard. I hate to say this, but Sacramento is the NBA graveyard.
There's a lot of guards too, man. It's a tough rotation to crack.
Halliburton, like I said, Buddy Hield, Fox, who you think yourself, these are some real good guards. Like, they could, that I think down the line, if we look at them as a collective, like they're gonna, have immediate, they're gonna have impacts on teams in the future. I don't necessarily think they all had the same impact together in Sacramento, obviously, But and one thing, at least Luke got some guards. I tell you that.
I think a lot of people are going to look back 10, 15 years from now on the Kings like a lot they did with those like 90s Cleveland Indians teams where they had like Manny Ramirez and Albert Bell. They're be like, oh my gosh, they had this much talent, never amounted to anything. So I think Sacramento is going to get that kind of next installment of that. So
yeah. And a guy who I think is going to be sneaky good. Well, it's two other guys I want to mention. Obviously, a guy in my backyard here in Richmond, Virginia, Bones Highland. I think he's in a good situation because he's in Denver. I don't like you don't necessarily need him as much, but I think coming off the bench, give you some time to scoring and do what he has to do. I think and he'll be on a going forward potentially a championship caliber type of team. So he'll be a tremendous benefit. And I think once Jason Preston gets after the foot injury or whatever, he was a guy. If he didn't get hurt last week, I probably would have put him at the top of the line. I think he'll get a lot of tick in Cleveland, Lord, and with Clippers. With the Clippers, especially with their situation at the guards, where you look at now, like you said, only you got Eric Bledsoe a return to the Clippers, which it's just like, and that's been so weird. Like it feel like that was been like many moons ago that he was in LA, but it hasn't been that long. But you see like that, and then I think Jason Preston would have. I wouldn't say necessarily would have had an immediate impact on this team, but he would have got a lot of minutes, especially they're so like short when it comes to like from the guard position. So I definitely think he would have got a lot of playing time. And in the way Ty Lue was saying, they still don't have like necessarily a timetable when he's going to come back. So that's kind of the question mark. But I think if he was healthy, I would have definitely he's more of an honorable mention for me at this point, just due to his injury.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we talked, and actually I coined this phrase from obviously Bill Simmons, the original Pod Father. Not to be confused with our guy Jeff, but Jeff is a Pod Father as well. But who is your Western Conference League Pass team? We talk about League Pass. It's a team that you'll just watch on a random Tuesday night if you're not watching Couch Coach Live. Essentially, a team that you will watch. So I'm going to go with you first, Cole. What you got?
Well, if Couch Coach Live ain't on, I'm definitely tuning into the Houston Rockets. I think there's some young talent there. They got Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Christian Wood. Jayshawn Tate was an interesting rookie last year. They got a lot of juniors there. Kenya Martin's kids there. They have a fun little five with Porter Jr., Green, Kenya Martin Jr., Jayshawn Tate, and Wood. They're going to have a lot of losses, but they're going to have a lot of highlights too. And when you're watching a bad team, you want that fun to watch. So I think the Rockets are going to be a fun, bad team. And then my honorable mention was the Kings. I think the Kings, they have a lot of talent there. They're not going to win a ton of games, but Fox is always fun to watch. You can always light it up for 30 or 40. Halliburton's a steady hand. Barnes, Hield. They got a lot of talent. They're just not figuring out how to use it yet, I guess. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Matt, we got any?
So basically, you saying it's a team that you regularly wouldn't watch from the Western Conference, or just whatever?
I think a team that you would just be like, "Oh, I want to watch this team," like on when it's just like a regular week, and just like we call it like a league pass team where you got the multitude of options, and it's just not like a prime time game necessarily. Like if you on a random night, a team that you would watch, like,
I know they made it to the playing game. Like I like Memphis. Like I really did like Memphis, man. I like I don't want to mess anybody's name up, but I just like the defense and the energy they was rolling. And you can kind of tell some of the issues that they were having because I think they needed more agile guys. Like some of the players that was coming in, they was kind of stiff and slow. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think if they speeded their game up a little bit, switched on defense a little quicker, man, they would be dangerous, man. Like it really shocked me. Like they really was what's funny? I feel like they might be. Am I tripping? No, I ain't tripping. They might be the new Portland.
Potentially.
You know what I mean? Seriously, if you really paid attention last year, I think they might be the new Portland, man. Anyway, it would be Memphis.
Okay. Yeah. So, to Cole's point, the Rockets. I think Rockets are, they're definitely a good team. Like you said, they'll be a fun team to just watch in a random middle of the week. Obviously, Memphis is a good team. Definitely, but they got Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks. They're doing their thing.
Yeah, the Brooks was the guy I was talking about. I like his energy.
Yeah. The team I really like now who I will probably sit down and watch is New Orleans Pelicans. I like, I'm really curious about the biggest question mark to me is Devontae Graham. I think that's kind of a sneaky good move for them, even though they lost a lot, obviously, in the offseason. But I like team him up with Zion, B.I. I think that's going to definitely be an interesting team. There could be a kind of a little 9:30 tip off, 9:30 game in the southeast. Have a little dinner, maybe a little light, small glass of wine, and watch a little Pelicans basketball.
With New Orleans, don't sleep on Nickeil Alexander-Walker too. I think they got rid of Lonzo because that kid's going to take a big step this year.
Yes.
I'm all in on him this year. So
Virginia Tech, and then also my cousin Jackson Hayes. No relationship, but
that's pretty cool.
That is my mother's maiden name. We ain't related.
You could have fooled me, right? Maybe some of the other listeners too. So,
but he just has my mom's maiden name. That's all.
I got you.
But yeah. So, you got any Western Conference sleepers? Cole, any sleepers you got?
I know it's not much of a sleeper for their season success, but the lack of postseason success, I think the Utah Jazz are a Western Conference sleeper. Everyone's betting on the Lakers. The Suns made the finals. The Jazz were eliminated second round, if I believe, last season. I think the Jazz, this is a make it or break it year for them. This is that similar to the situation with the Bucks. You got to pay those guys in the upcoming summers. You got Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. The biggest problem was versatility around Gobert. Gobert, when the teams went small, he was unplayable. So what they do, they went out and they got Eric Paschall. They got Rudy Gay, guys that can play that small ball five, make that versatile lineup a little bit better. And with this team, you're betting on Donovan Mitchell to take that next step. And I think he's ready to take that next step. So I think the Jazz are a sleeper team out West.
Yeah. Getting him out.
Yeah, me. I was gonna say, I don't know, man. I was just watching the Warriors, and a lot of those guys have been at the bottom of the barrel, and they've had to fight since, all these major injuries to their stars. And I think they're going to be a little dangerous this year. I think they're getting their confidence up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I really do. I seen something like to the point where I was like, man, Klay Thompson is a beast. But damn, you know what I mean? What if you can get something for him? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Seriously, what if you can get something for him with the way those boys is playing with passion and enthusiasm and shooting the ball away? They got two guys that I think it was Poole. It's a few. They got at least three guys I saw that were just knocking down threes. It was crazy in this preseason game, and I was like, oh, they're going to be dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Poole averaged almost like 25 a game in the preseason.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting there like, they gonna be dangerous. And then, having Andre Iguodala back, at least Andre Iguodala is there just to guide them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't really have to play as much, but just be the one on the bench to tell them what they need to do with his basketball IQ. I think that's going to be important. But, I would say Memphis, but I'm definitely – even last year I saw Curry coming back to be who he was. You know what I mean? And then, Drake, but I do think Draymond also is he's losing steps. And they're gonna have to make that start looking for another guy like him.
Yeah.
Or something's gonna have to happen.
That's absolutely a trade that could, I think, happen. And you bring up Klay Thompson in trade rumors. I mean, Sixers need shooting. Warriors could use some defensive versatility.
And you get some young assets.
Yeah, you get Wiseman, you get Moody, you get Kuminga, whoever you want.
Yeah, whoever you want. Take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Wiggins. Yeah. Now he even got jabbed up. He good, bro. Not gonna feel it.
I don't know if Philly like him that much.
I know, right? I don't think so either.
He's empty calories as a person playing basketball, man. Man, it's tough to watch sometimes.
He's a skinny pop and 0 calorie wine.
Yes.
Of the NBA.
It's crazy. Like his career, he averages more points per game in his career than Kawhi Leonard, and you would never guess that because he ain't done shit.
Right.
It's just the most weirdest thing. It's like, you started off your career being omitted in LeBron James' homecoming piece, and then now you get to this point where it's just like, I feel so bad.
Like he was straight for Kevin Love at one point, and now all of a sudden we're looking at him like, he's got $30 million in the bank, and why?
Right. Hey, and he's an NBA journeyman, like literally. Like,
yes.
And I hate that every time he gets traded somewhere, I always say, well, he gets a fresh start. And it's like, it's like his 5th fresh start.
Come on, guys.
Him and Jabari Parker, both of them. Jabari Parker's still getting those fresh starts, too.
Jabari Parker has been everywhere. I mean, he literally has been almost just about anywhere, at least at each coast. He's representing each coast at this point.
Fox, Bulls, Celtics, Kings,
Mavs. The Wizards, don't. What he play for? Oh gosh, that would be a perfect what he played for on inside the NBA. Who would Jabari Parker play for? He go Charles Barkley. I don't know. Maybe the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, that'd be definitely who he played for. I think we need to play that game. Who he played for?
I probably 7 or 8 teams already.
Yeah,
when he was drafted? 13, 12?
Because he was with Milwaukee. I know he went to Chicago. I know we traded him to we traded him to the Wizards or something. No.
I think it was Kings. He was Celtics last year, which
he was the Celtics last year. He went to like he didn't go to the Knicks.
I think Hawks was one of them.
He went to the Hawks. Yeah, he went to the Hawks. Yeah. I think he might be. No, he ain't with the Hawks. That's right. He was somebody.
He's been everywhere. Too hard.
And the Wizards. He was with the Wizards too.
He was with the Wizards.
Because he was part of that Tony Snell deal. No, it wasn't Tony Snell. It was Bobby Portis.
Yeah, Bobby Portis. Yep.
Yeah, when he was there, but now he's an NBA champion. But I think the sleepers. I think it's obviously. I think it's got to be the Grizzlies. I think they're another team that I think the height expectation 2 years ago in the bubble. We figured they were going to make the playoff. They didn't make it. Obviously, they fell short. They made it this year. No, did they?
They beat the Warriors.
They beat the Warriors. That's right. They beat the Warriors. I forgot. See, that's how this playing messes. It's messing with my brain. But so then that's another one you look at. Can they take that next lead? And then like the Warriors, and I think the Warriors are a team now where even though we've seen their success, now it's almost like it's kind of one of those moments, like I said, the defining moment for this team. It's almost like you got like we talked about it earlier. You got the championship nucleus, but you also have some pieces that could that you're gonna be having going towards the future. And like you said, could that be a situation where what they do? They're in I call it like the Danny A stage, where it's almost like they can go in either direction. Like they could, like you said, Mal, they pull the trigger on the Ben Simmons deal, but then you get rid of your future assets going forward. Like you want to, part ways with like a Kuminga or James Wiseman. And those guys. So you don't, like you said, they're in a weird spot. I put it that way. So they're in a spot where it's kind of interesting though. But yeah. So why the Lakers looking so bad this preseason? Hey,
because
preseason.
Because Westbrook ain't the answer. I don't think he is, and I would have traded that package for Buddy Hield and went elsewhere with all the Lakers.
Yeah,
you put Buddy Hield next to LeBron James, he's shooting 44% from beyond the arc.
It's going to be okay. I'm telling you, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Brian gonna figure it out.
Westbrook's the best regular season player in the NBA. So if their goal was to get No, one of the better regular season players in the NBA because he don't care because his effort and stuff is unmatched game by game. Nobody cares more in a random January game than Russell Westbrook. He's going to hit that triple-double and lead the team to the victory. But when it comes to game 4, the first round, is he going to be able to temper that expectations playing with LeBron and AD?
He's probably not. Because the best point guard on that team is LeBron, and number 2 is Rondo.
Absolutely. Rondo knows his role.
Right. So I think, he's just going to have to calm him down. I watched it. You see a lot of anxiety. It's a lot, he home. He with the Lakers, a lot of anxiety there. He's going to have to calm him down and just play his game, man. I'm like, yo, just stop worried about just going up and shooting and just play, Russ. We can tell he's thinking too much. You know what I mean? He's trying everything he can to play team ball, but it'll be all right.
I brought it up with the storyline. What are they going to look like closing fives in big games?
Right.
I don't know if he is going to be part of that closing 5. I really don't know. I think it's going to look like some sort of LeBron, Monk, Melo, AD, Kendrick Nunn, some shooters around him.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I think what I'm seeing too from the Bazemore is going to be some quiet guys that nobody's really talking about it because Bazemore's defense is really well. And I think like even Nunn, like I just seen like it's preseason, man. That's why I kept saying I was like, man, you really getting too emotional about a preseason game, bro. You know what I mean?
15 turnovers is sure a lot of turnovers.
You know what I mean?
That's a heck of a lot of turnovers. I couldn't believe that when I saw that.
Right. So, fellas, let's round out our Western Conference preview. So we're gonna do our 1 through 10. Obviously, we got obviously the 16s that'll make the playoffs, and then obviously the 4 that'll be in the play-in. So we're gonna go around the horn. So who is the 10th team in the Western Conference? Who you got, Cole?
I've got a tie between the Sacramento Kings and the New Orleans Pelicans. I couldn't make up my mind on which team's going to be there, but I think the Kings and the Pelicans are 2 similar teams that have budding stars with an interesting roster around them. So I think that's going to be both those teams will be in the play-in range. I just couldn't figure out which one's going to be better.
Yeah. What you got, Maui?
Oklahoma and Sacramento.
He said OKC.
Hey man, I'm freestyling, so don't kill me.
OKC and who?
And Sacramento.
Okay. All right. So I actually got one definitive one. The people in South Texas will love me. Well, Mid-South. Go Spurs, go. Potentially. But hey, that's really being very, very overachieving if that happens. If they can get to that point, you might as well put Pop at the coach of the year at least at the table, potentially.
No, yeah, I think that's fair. Dejounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson should take a leap playing with the Olympics. I think that's going to be a good experience for him. So I could see it. There's definitely a version where that team takes off a little bit.
9th, who you got, Cole?
I got the Memphis Grizzlies 9th. I still think they're a year away. They're an exciting team to watch. I think Ja needs a Bradley Beal type player. I'm not going to say Bradley Beal, but like that second star that can play off the ball with Ja. I like Dillon Brooks, but he ain't a step up from Dillon Brooks. I think is that piece that they need to vault them into that top 6, top 5 range. And there's just a lot of good teams in the West. So I got the Grizzlies 9th.
All right, what you got, Maui?
9th, I got Portland.
Portland, okay. All right.
Freestyling.
It's all good, bro. Give me the Grizzlies. I got the Grizzlies at 9th. All right. The 8th seed.
That is where I have the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
I think it is going to be a mess. They've always been mid to me, and if they trade for Ben Simmons, it very well could vault them, or very well could tank them. I think 8th is a perfect spot for them.
Yeah. What you got, Maui?
We got 8th, right?
Yeah.
Nuggets.
Okay. All right. Give me the Blazers. I think they'll be in that spot. Cole, who you got at 7th?
The Dallas Mavericks. Jason Kidd doesn't do it for me. And Luka can be an MVP candidate all he wants. That roster around him is not good. So
yeah. We got Maui.
I got the same thing.
Mavs, okay. And I'm at a cross. I'm leaning more towards the Clippers, because I'm thinking Kawhi not playing this year. I mean, the way I'm projecting, I got the Clippers, as a 7th seed.
Clippers are my 6th. I think.
Ooh, okay.
I think. Luka Doncic is a better basketball player than Paul George. There's no secrets out there, but I think the roster around Paul George, they just know how to win. You got veterans like Bledsoe, Serge Ibaka, Marcus Morris. They've got pieces, Reggie Jackson, that I think are better suited to win outside of what the Mavericks supporting cast is. So I got the Clippers 6.
Okay. Who you got 6, Maui?
Warriors.
Okay, GS. That loses. So who's your 5th, Cole?
I have the Denver Nuggets 5. Jokic is the MVP last year, but no Murray. It's going to knock him down a few slots.
Okay. Who you got, Maui?
We have 4th.
No, 5th.
I'm just messing with you. Clippers.
Clippers. Okay. All right. Your 4th seed. Who you got, Cole?
I've got the Phoenix Suns. Not much of a movement from last season. I just think some teams got better. They stayed the same.
Oh, I forgot to mention my 5th seed was the Warriors.
Okay.
Okay. What you got, Maui? Your 4th seed.
Same as Cole. Suns.
Suns. Okay. I actually got the Nuggets.
Who am I forgetting?
All right. So, who's your 3rd seed, Cole?
I have the Golden State Warriors at number 3. I think they make a move. I think they come out the gates hot. I think it's going to be somewhat of a last dance for them, and I think they're going to have a really good regular season.
Yeah. All right, Maui, who's your 3rd seed?
Man, don't judge me on this. I'm freestyling. I'm messing with you. Really, I'm gonna put the Grizzlies at the 4th, and I'm gonna put the Suns at the 3rd.
Oh, so you got okay.
I mixed them up by mistake. That's my bad.
So you got Memphis. You said so. You got Memphis at 4.
Yeah, and I got the Suns for the 3rd.
Okay, so all right. All right. In this case, give me 3rd seed. We did the Nuggets already. Give me the Suns on this one. All right. 2 seed.
I have the Los Angeles Lakers. I think you're going to see some of those veterans. They're going to have some nagging injuries. I think LeBron is just going to take some time off. AD, just general rest, and they're going to gear up for the postseason. So I got them at 2.
Who you got, Maui?
I got the same thing.
LA Lakers. Okay. Give me the Utah Jazz. I think they're going to be 2nd. And so, all right. So who's y'all number 1 seed? Obviously,
back-to-back regular season. Yep, I got the Utah Jazz. I think just because they have to, they know they have to. They can't afford not having home court, and I like the moves they made this summer. So,
yeah.
And then they were motivated last year because when Shaq had was talking bad about
Gobert.
Got Mitchell and then Gobert, you know what I'm saying? So they was motivated, man. Once they seen that window, they just kept going.
So
what you got?
Yeah. The Lakers. I think the Salt and Pepper Lakers gonna do their thing this year. I think it's gonna be somewhat of a.
What is this salt and pepper stuff, man? That you're
nothing
talking
wrong
about?
with that though. That's good though. I'm salt and pepper gang as well. So that's actually a compliment. These guys are my age, which is good.
Okay.
I like this. I like that.
Okay.
Carmelo, a former class of 2002 guys on his team. Absolutely. LeBron James, born in 1984, only 70 days younger than me. Of course, I like this. I like having. It feels good to be that old and still be in the league and still actually doing something. Of course, it's not. No, it's not a slight. Not when you're on the verge of 37. Absolutely, this is it's great to make you get you a renewed lease on life. Like back when we were kids, 37, you were a senior citizen. You were getting the grand slams at Dennis for like 99 cents. Like you were old. Like now it's a different story.
Man, I was like, dang, I can't wait to grow up so I can get a grand slam for 99 cents.
Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I got
that's-
two guys. Yeah, class of 1984. Yes, indeed.
So,
That's it.
Cole, who do you really think? You know, I know that we did in the West Conference. Who do you really think gonna win the championship next year? Just throw it out there.
it might be a little hometown bias, but I'm going with the Bucks.
Okay.
I go to school in Milwaukee. Been to school in Milwaukee for 5 years. I think Giannis is about to take another step. I'm just banking on Giannis hitting 70 to 80% of his free throws, and if that's the case, write it off in the league. And
don't think not having PJ Tucker is going to be a problem?
I think PJ Tucker is one of the most overrated players in the NBA last year. I really do. And look up the numbers, man. He got killed in the postseason. He had one of the worst defensive box plus minuses. And I think Bobby Portis, they got Grayson Allen off the bench. Rodney Hood is there. I think it was a better bench pickup than what they got for PJ Tucker. And PJ Tucker was asking for way too much money. I'd rather have Bobby Portis than PJ. Please
don't ever put Hood in an argument ever again, man. Rodney Hood, come on, don't ever do that again.
Hey, Rodney Hood was 15 to 20 a game in Utah before he tore that Achilles. So I actually think he's going to be okay.
That's when he didn't know they weren't going to win anything. That's why he was just like, I'm just going to shoot. I'm just kidding.
Oh, playing off
No, I actually think that the team, they get DiVincenzo back, who's a big defensive stopper. They have Drew that can help up against Harden. No Kyrie for the Nets makes it that much easier for the Bucks to get in the East, and then they just have to. I really like. If I was a betting man, I'd put a wager down on the Bucks winning the finals.
Well, Kyrie probably gonna end up being in Houston.
Kyrie
gonna retire. He can retire. He said he ain't going nowhere. He gonna retire.
Because Houston don't have no mandates.
No,
I mean Texas anyway. My bad.
He'd go to Dallas. That'd be pretty fun. Not just Kyrie for Porzingis. Then it's all crazy. Then it's all crazy.
Yeah, it would be just outrageous, crazy. Yeah, but yeah, man. So definitely appreciate you for coming on tonight with us, Cole.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So social media and any upcoming projects. What you got?
You can follow me on Twitter at Nothing But Airtime. That's NOTHINBTAIRTIME. We've got our fictional basketball tournament closing down here. We're in the Final Four. Some of the best characters you've ever seen playing some basketball. And then season 2 of the podcast is coming up when the NBA starts up. We're going to have a guest on doing some Tinder preview. We're swiping right, left, and up on different teams for our podcast for the start of season 2. So.
Yeah, man. Definitely a great concept, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you, Cole, for coming on tonight. Always good to link up with another Off the Ball Network colleague, gang.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, appreciate you, Cole, and we'll catch you on the next go round, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Have a good one, guys.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Definitely huge shout out to Cole, giving his doing his thing, Nothing But Airtime. Shout out to our guy. And then also shout out to our first guest tonight, D-Hop.
Right.
Talking a little Raiders. So we're gonna end the night. We're gonna do our week 6